Well, the song you're going to hear today from me, one I wrote called Saddle Up and Ride, and how it came to be. Well, my computer crashed at home, my laptop, and I had to have a new one. And I posted out on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for a computer, anybody can help me? And a good friend of mine, Murdy Payne, who is Leon Payne's daughter, Leon Payne, a great Texas songwriter, she saw my post and she said, baby, she said, I got a computer for you. She said, I just got a new one. So I got on the motorcycle and took off and got over to, driving over to Bernie to meet her, and picked up the computer. But on the way over, I read a lot of Louis L'Amour books, and I noticed a cowboy out on 281. He was riding fence on a horse, and that just doesn't happen every day anymore. It's always ATVs and stuff. It just kind of put me in that state of mind, you know, of the cowboys and what it must have been like here so many years ago. And then I thought about my Louis L'Amour books. And Louis L'Amour, the one thing I liked about him, if you read a Louis L'Amour book, there's always a love affair in there. And but he was always polite to the lady when he left. He was a roving cowboy, you had to go, but he always left it in the right way. And that's how the song came to be in my mind. And between the turnoff at 290 and 281, that's when I started the song. And by the time I got to Bernie, I had it finished, and sat down and played it for Murdy in the parking lot of, I think it was Walmart or something where I met her. But she says, I like it. And so far other people here in Texas have liked it too. And now I'm just trying to sell it to George Strait.
I'm gonna leave. I've got to saddle up and ride, set sail, let high tide, do what it takes, get on up the road. Might take a plane or a train, I'm not leaving any blame. I just know it's time for me to go.
to be a professional musician, it entails more than people think, or I guess what they should think. My dad was a band leader, and he taught me a lot about respecting my audience, having respect for the music, respecting the audience, and by that I mean the way you dress. When you go on stage, people come to see a show, and you're to give them that. I mean, like Ferry Young or some of them on the Grand Ole Opry used to say that if you're wearing anything on stage that can be bought off the rack and you can sit in the audience, you're underdressed. And well, those days are kind of gone because nudie suits are expensive. But I got taught from a young age that was respect for your audience and for your craft, what you're doing. Showing up on time. This is a big one. And me and Red Volkaert were talking about that the other day. It's disrespectful to a band leader and to the bar or club or festival or whatever, wherever you're playing, to have them having heart palpitations as he's going to show up. You show up at least an hour ahead of time. You're dressed appropriately and being professional in that way. Another person that I talk to quite a bit is Freddie Powers. Freddie's a good friend. I've sat on his in his motorhome with him, and it told me basically the same thing my dad did. But you listen to the older people that came before you, they're successful for a reason, you know. And you know, if you just keep your mouth shut and listen, you'll learn a lot. And keeping my mouth shut's a hard thing for me to do. I like to talk, but Freddie taught me a bunch, and I think it's my responsibility as now, I hate to say it, one of the older musicians now, I'm getting there, to teach that to the younger people, pass that on. It's not rock star life and party and tear up hotel rooms. Be respectful everywhere you go, and you'll get asked to come back.
Don't say it can't get no better. Don't say it can't get no worse. Don't back yourself in a corner now. Words that become a curse. Keep on reaching up and give your praise to the Lord above. Keep on keeping on and keep your heart full of love in the children. Heart full of love in the brother. Heart full of love. Well, the Lord now, he told Noah, go build me a great big boat. Build that thing just like I say, gonna make that big boat float. Gonna send down a mighty rain, gonna send my children in 2 by 2. Don't listen to the people, Noah, when they call you a fool. Just keep your heart full of love in me, Noah. Heart full of love in me, brother. Heart full of love. Well, the Lord now, he told Moses, take my people to the promised land. So he led them out of Egypt into a sea of sand. People began to grumble, people began to doubt. But the Lord reminded Moses, I'm gonna teach you what it's all about. Just to keep your heart full of love in me, Moses. Heart full of love in me, brother. Heart full of love. Don't say it can't get no better. Don't say it can't get no worse. Don't back yourself in a corner now. Words that become a curse. Just keep on reaching up and give your praise to the Lord above. Keep on keeping on and keep your heart full of love in me, Noah. Heart full of love in me, Moses. Heart full of love in me, brother. Heart full of love in me, children. Just keep your heart. Said keep your heart full of love.